Oh my gosh, you guys. I should have gone to see Jackass instead. All right. About an hour or so into this movie, Moonfall, which I went to see tonight, Thursday night preview, I started getting the sense, I think this is my Green Knight of 2022. Now, I don't know, I may have more Green Knight situations come up this year. This is definitely my first one. I regret that I took the time to watch this movie. It was so bad. I was generous in giving it 1.5 stars out of 5. And that's mostly because of the FX and the digital stuff, the destruction that it shows happening. It's pretty intense. It's kind of scary to think about, actually. On the face of it, you think about how important the moon is to the Earth, its gravity and everything, and the water and all of that, right? And so if something goes wonky with the moon, we're in deep shit. Okay? So that part of it was compelling to think about, just the prospect of something like that happening. But oh my gosh, the execution of this and the story behind what was going on with the moon was just so ridiculous. The acting in here was, for Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry, just honestly not very good. The moments of emotion between them and their family members just felt very contrived and forced, and it just didn't draw me in. The one person who did a decent job in here, or the one character that I felt the most connected to, is that guy right there. Samwise from Game of Thrones. I can't remember his name. Bradley is his last name or something like that, but whatever. Anyway, he plays like this conspiracy theorist guy, and he's got all these ideas, and of course what he thinks is happening is really happening, but it starts off okay-ish, and then after the initial setup at the beginning of this catastrophe that happens in space with Patrick Wilson's character, Halle Berry's character, and something happens, it sets the stage, and then we jump forward 10 years later, and they're both in different places in their life. Things have changed dramatically with them, and this event happens, and the moon starts to go off course, and of course one of the first people that recognizes it is the conspiracy theorist guy. I don't even remember his character's name. So I guess I didn't make that much of a connection with them. I don't even remember their names. I don't remember their character names. I don't even care. Anyway, so he detects something's happening with the moon. Nobody will listen to him. Finally, NASA picks up on it, and then they realize they have to go into space to do some stuff to try to fix it and save humanity and all this and whatever. When they get up into space and it's revealed what's going on, it was so ridiculous. You guys, I was rolling my eyes so hard in the movie theater. I'm glad it was dark, because if anybody saw me, they would probably think my eyes were about ready to just roll right on out of my head and down the floor. It was so, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed I took the time. I'm annoyed I paid any money to see it. And I feel like, dang, I could have been getting some work done at home. I could have been cleaning my office. I could have been doing some housework. That's bad. When I wish I could have been just doing housework instead of watching this movie. But, so I was like, and I didn't watch any reviews. I didn't look at any reviews or anything before I went. I didn't read any, didn't look at the scores, nothing. I had a feeling it wouldn't be great, but I kind of felt like maybe it'd at least be passable. Nope. I mean, if you just like FX stuff and you like disaster stuff, you'll be happy. But if you go in and you kind of want something that's got a compelling story with interesting characters, you're not going to be satisfied. I don't believe you're going to be satisfied. But what I was also going to say is that, so this movie was 2 hours long. Something that occurred to me as I started to feel like this isn't so great, but before I reached the point where I was like, oh gosh, I hate this movie. I'm sorry I'm watching it. I almost walked out of the theater. And I never even entertained the idea of doing that. I mean, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish this was over if I'm not really into a movie, but I never think about, let me just get up and walk out. I brought my computer to the theater because I was going to wait for my son to get off work and maybe do some work on my computer, maybe gather some pictures for the review or whatever. I toyed with the idea of getting up and walking out so I could maybe do some work on the computer. That's how bad it was. The side characters, they go back and forth between what's happening up in space and then the side characters, which are the family members of each of the three main characters. His son, his other family members, his mother, and Halle Berry's family. And their little, what's going on with them on Earth. And that's supposed to be sort of like the emotional anchor to keep you connected and caring about the characters. I didn't give a crap about the characters. I didn't even care about the kids. That's how bad this movie was. When they have these little moments of emotion and I love you and I love you. I'm like, this is just not working with me, you guys. It's not working. Then, of course, they have to show as society starting to break down and as they're going along their way trying to make it to safety, and they run into some thugs. You know, they have a few scenes with thugs, and it's like, what? It just felt so forced. It felt like, well, this is the formula. We have to put this in and show you this. So let's just go ahead and do it. And it just fell flat. The entire thing fell flat. The emotion wasn't there. With the exception of that guy, the acting was lacking. I mean, it was just, I felt embarrassed for Halle Berry and embarrassed for Patrick Wilson being in this movie. It's just, maybe when they filmed it, maybe there's an extended version of this that would make it better, but I don't see how. But what I was getting ready to say, I don't even think I finished the thought I had. Okay, the thought I had as I was watching it, before I started to feel, right around the time when I was like, this isn't so great, the thought that I had was that this story would actually make a pretty cool mini-series, like, a limited series on Netflix, maybe like an 8 to 10 episode sort of series, or 6 or whatever, like an hour long, where they could really delve into the characters and really get into like their families, their personalities. You could build a connection with them. You could care about them. And even with the ridiculous thing that gets revealed at the end as far as what's behind what's going on, which if you really want to go see this movie, I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you don't care about spoilers, just look them up. You'll find out. But even the ridiculous of that could probably be more palatable if it was told in a longer story with more compelling characters and a better written script. And I think it would have been so much better if they had chosen something like that, as opposed to trying to squeeze all of this ridiculousness into 2 hours. So, of course, science-wise, I'm not a scientist, but even I could tell it was so much BS going on in this thing. And like some of the events, some of the situations they were getting into, like with the shuttle taking off and things that were happening as it was taking off, I was like, there's just no way. They would have been dead in like the first second. It's just no way possible. Obviously you have to suspend your disbelief, but in a lot of, oh geez.
Let it out.
I am letting it out. I'm like, I was saying.
This is the second time I've scared you this year.
Yes, it is.
You need
Stop
to
doing
make
that.
A score point and put the Hall of
Arturo Ding one.
Yeah. And Hall of the Mountain King.
What was I saying before you interrupted me?
By the way, there's 2 American skaters gonna do their thing.
Okay, but you're watching it, not me. What was I saying before you walked in?
Something about science.
Okay, yeah, okay. I remember now. I was saying the Olympics has started, so he's got Olympics on his mind, but he comes in here and scares me. what I was saying is, obviously, science-wise, it's so full of crap. And like I said, the event, the situations and things that they were involved in, there's no way these people would have survived. And I believe what I was saying right before he came in was that obviously with a lot of science fiction movies, you have to suspend your disbelief. That's kind of part of the territory. But there is like this level. It's like, well, there are some people that just don't like science fiction because they can't suspend their disbelief. They only like other types of genres that are more grounded in reality. Then there's people that like science fiction, but they like it to feel organic and real and something that could be grounded in reality. Then there's, I guess, other people that they don't care. It doesn't matter. It can be fantastical and crazy and it doesn't matter. But let's say, okay, so Flash Gordon, that's ridiculous and over the top and whatever. But I feel like it doesn't take itself seriously. So I could tolerate a movie like Flash Gordon more than something like this, which tries to take itself seriously and absolutely ends up being so ridiculous and over the top and just bad. Just bad. I'm really looking forward to Death on the Nile next week. I think it will help to cleanse my palate of this bad taste that was left in my mouth from Moonfall. Oh my gosh. I did not think that it would happen this early in the year, that I would encounter a movie that I regretted taking the time to watch. It is February. January and February are traditionally bad movie months where horrible movies go to die. Not always, but a lot of times. I just didn't expect it to be this bad, and it was this bad. And I know something else I was getting ready to say. So after I come home, I was looking up what other reviewers were saying, and I looked at the Rotten Tomato score, the critic reviews, because I was thinking to myself, there is no way the critics could give this anything higher than 20% something, or even more than 30%. Would you believe this thing is like in the mid to high 40s? As of the recording of this. Are you kidding me? Really? I know it's subjective. It's all subjective. But for the elite, critical reviewer type people, the establishment, not necessarily elite, but the establishment critical reviewer people, that they would rate this movie so high astounds me. Anyway, I went over to Metacritic, and those reviews seem to reflect what I feel is a reality more than Rotten Tomatoes, obviously. And the IMDb scores are in the 50s, like 5.5. That's extremely generous. Extremely generous. I can only give this 1.5 stars out of 5, like I said. So on IMDb, when I go to enter my score, what would that be? Like, 2.5 stars? That feels like extremely generous, but it's out of 10, so whatever. But anyway, I don't want to go into too much more depth in case you guys really want to go see this film, and I don't want to give away the spoiler because it's so new. Like, if I was watching this 2 weeks later, I would definitely be spilling the beans as to the stuff that was going on that's revealed about the moon. Now, maybe the trailer, I've only seen one trailer. The trailer, I was interested. The trailer made it look really good. Someone mentioned in the comments section of one of the review videos, like, this is, one of the many times where the trailer is actually better than the movie. The trailer does a better job at building excitement and tension. This is just, this builds tension because there's things that happen that, but by the time some of the other tension building stuff was happening, I had reached that point where I had just gone way on over, and I was like, I don't care if all y'all die. I don't care. Yeah, that's pretty harsh, but anyway, those are my thoughts on Moonfall. If you guys have seen it yet, let me know what you think about it. If you plan to watch it, let me know what you think about it when you get around to seeing it. Part of me feels like I'm being extremely harsh, but these are my just my instinctive reactions and feelings about it. And I don't think that will change. Sometimes they do change. Decades down the road, I can't see myself ever wanting to watch this movie again. That's how strongly I feel about how bad it is. So, yeah. And then I get out and I'm waiting in the lobby, and I saw that Jackass came to the theater today, and I'm like, damn it, I should have gone to see that instead. That would have been so much better. Anyway. Okay. That's it. I'm going to stop ranting now so that I can work on getting this edited for tomorrow. It's not tomorrow yet. Okay, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.